Going, my dudes. I guess we're gonna do this, so hang on to your ass, kids. Let me adjust my... No, that's not it. I'm trying to adjust my speaker settings. Alright, let's do this.
I am getting sick and tired of YouTube being all censor happy when I talk about politics and other random topics here on my YouTube channel.
Well, it's not really that it's censor happy. Now, here's what I'll give you. I will give you the fact that you should be allowed to say whatever idiotic bullshit you want to say, but that does not mean that other people are also not allowed to say that the shit you say is idiotic. That's what you're not understanding. Yeah, if you say dumb... I think you should be allowed to say your stupid shit, but people should also be allowed to make fun of you because of how stupid the shit you say is. Does that make sense? I think that you should be allowed to be criticized just as much as you should be allowed to say your ignorant shit, because at least then it's fair. Instead of just you needing to be treated like everyone's special little guy whenever you needed to avoid people calling you a fucking spade for being a fucking spade. The reason people call you an ignorant prick is because of some ignorant shit you've said that's not even remotely close to being accurate. But we're gonna get into that in a minute. I'm not gonna spoil things.
So, anyways, I don't want to be on here on this channel anymore. I'm going to be uploading.
Then please just go. You don't need to tell everyone. They'll figure it out. Unless your subscribers are between the ages of like 7 and 12.
My videos elsewhere.
Like a flaming dumpster where they fucking belong.
And where I'll be uploading them at will be no one else's business anyway.
Translation, if anyone says anything at all unkind about it, you're gonna run to the administrator and cry.
So before I leave YouTube for good, I'd like to say, YouTube, you can go fuck yourselves.
And that's still more action than you're ever gonna get right now. Like, I'd be mad too if I looked like Droopy the dog was turned into a human being. And I was so fucking sad and ignorant that I genuinely believed a fairy tale made up to scare me into being celibate and angry at the world around me. Like, if you wonder why a woman could never look at you twice, it's not the fucking jowls you've grown, it's not the third chin that's growing between your jaw and your neck, just behind the other chin. It's the fact that your opinions are ignorant and stupid. They're childish and fucking sophomorean because they are entirely based upon believing what other people have told you uncritically and unequivocally, and then you are going to sit there and bitch when people say your dumbass opinions are stupid. What exactly was Plan A?
And I'd like to thank those of you subscribers of mine, my true subscribers, for listening.
All of like 20 of them. That face you make when your Jamal forgets the fucking lube. But yeah, seriously, you have like what? All of maybe, you have 851 subs, and I guarantee at least 800 of them are just people that fucking follow you to rag on your ass because they find you to be an oddity to point and laugh at. I mean, seriously, don't you think it's a little bit weird that you have almost 900 subs and less than 10 people comment? I mean, does that not strike you as odd at all? I mean, it would certainly definitely strike my fucking funny bone to look at it. It's like, well, wait a minute, why are there this many but so few people say something? I mean, I know my fucking account, for example, was inflated by like 70 fucking people because Codebreaker made dozens of alts to follow people he doesn't like around. Although why you do that, I don't know. It seems kind of meaningless to follow people around that way. But the fact is, like, you don't have actual subs that genuinely watch you that aren't either just retarded ass bots trying to get your credit card information so they can send you you can send them money overseas, or it's people that are just as like mentally fucked up as you who genuinely believe in a lot of the horse shit you believe. But even then, it's not really a substantial amount.
listen to me rant and supporting my YouTube videos in the past. I'd like to thank those of you for being with me on YouTube. I've been on YouTube since 2008.
And you've never once tried to improve any of your content, figure out how to edit it, or make it better. What's that say about your ability to do quality control? They never should have removed the dislike button.
And I won't be on here anymore anyway, so...
Okay. If you're expecting people to be broken up about it, probably not. Maybe one or two people might say, well, that's a shame, but everyone else is like, okay. And nothing of value is lost.
Oh. What's the point of uploading more videos on this channel anyway? YouTube is...
Yeah, you can go ahead and do that, but it'll just be more fodder that that people that just let you just fucking spin your fucking wheels and burn yourself out making an ass of yourself, asking people to believe in your dumbass horseshit opinions that aren't based on anything other than, like, I heard it on the news one time when I was 7, and Grandma kept telling me that ever since.
Nothing but a hateful left-wing cesspool.
No, the hateful one is you, because you actively advocate for people losing their rights, even though what they're doing isn't really hurting anyone. You're not asking for people to maintain a sensible middle ground about their opinions and about their actions. You're saying people should lose their fucking rights for no other reason other than the fact that they don't adhere to the belief in the magical sky wizard that you believe in. That's exactly what I would call fucking hateful. Like, don't lecture anyone about being hateful when you're the one that actively voices opinions like that and expects no one to say shit about it. It's people like you that made a lot of people suffer unjustifiably because they were gay back in the 80s and 90s and even the early fucking 2000s. It's people like you that resulted in that teenage boy getting beaten up and fucking beaten to death in a football field just because they found out he was gay, because they were a bunch of religious, like socially regressive religious asswipes who would rather kill a person that's just not like them instead of just simply saying, well, it's not my thing, but as long as you don't hurt anyone, I don't really give a shit. And you're gonna try to say that people like you are not fucking hateful when you openly come from a crop of people who actively encourage and carry out the murder of gay people from time to time, because you live in these like really regressive fucking backwater areas of the country. Instead of just simply saying it's not my thing, but I don't give a shit and leaving it be, people like you actually go out and commit violence for the sake of just saying it's not my way, so they must be destroyed. And yet you're gonna lecture people about you not being hateful, and you're gonna call YouTube hateful. Now, do I think YouTube sometimes focuses more on what people say than why they say it and who they say it to, and that sometimes creates a problem? Yeah. I think sometimes YouTube does fuck up. And it does sometimes give the wrong type of people the ability to cry and run away whenever they fuck up. But that being said, that doesn't justify everything you say, and that doesn't justify your opinions, because they're incredibly, ridiculously bigoted, ignorant opinions that only crazy people believe in.
And to my haters out there who say that you're glad that I'll be gone, well, I got news for you, haters of mine, including Damien Skyfire, for example.
Suck a cock.
I won't come back to YouTube because
okay,
I hate YouTube.
You hate it because you're not getting your way. That's the thing. You hate it because you can't just be an ignorant asshole without being called an ignorant asshole. Like, it's one thing to say you don't understand it, you don't agree with it, it's just not your thing. It's another thing, however, to actively broadcast so you would remove the group, like, rights for an entire group of people just because they exist and not because they've actually done anything or because they are likely to do anything that might hurt someone else. So of course people are gonna cry foul over that. Only a fucking retard wouldn't. Because it's usually people like you that try to create a divide between people, where you start trying to say, well, if you don't go along exactly with my beliefs, then I want you all gone. And then you start to believe that shit, and you start to do things in the name of that shit. And before you know it, everyone has matching uniforms and armbands. So yeah, people like you are a fucking problem. Now, does it mean that you should be gone? No. But I think that you should definitely be ridiculed and made fun of when you act like a total asshole to everyone. And when it comes down to the rules, you still have to follow them yourself. I think some of the rules are kind of vague and some of them are kind of fucking retarded. Especially the bullying guidelines, because if you call someone a retard for harassing you, you shouldn't get in trouble for that because they're the one provoking you at that point. But that being said, nobody was provoking you. You just genuinely started spouting bigoted bullshit because you thought it was going to get into the good graces of people that don't even know you exist. All because you wanted to get into the good books of an all-seeing being that would realistically not really take issue with you saying it or not. If there is a God and he loves you very much, I don't think he's going to ask you to say the kind of shit that you say online because God's going to know what's in your heart and he's not going to care. Like, that's the thing. You come from a religion that tells you that God knows everything and sees everything. If you genuinely disagree with something that you feel your religion is going to condemn, then guess what? Your God will accept that, see that as a sign of your faith without you needing to say a fucking word, and at the end of the day, there's no reason to say it. You were basically just doing it to dance along to the little performative puppeteer dance that you thought you were going to have to dance to in order to get people to support you. Like, a lot of it was just performative shit you did so that people would acknowledge you.
Fuck YouTube. And if I get one more strike on this channel, if I get...
Okay, wish granted. I'm not going to report you, but still. I wouldn't be surprised if someone just did it out of fucking spite. It'd be funny in like a kind of like ridiculously comedic way, but I wouldn't really agree with it.
This taken down? I don't give a shit.
If you don't give a shit, then why say anything, you fat ass? Seriously, for someone that claims not to give a fuck, you bitch an awful lot about it.
I'm not coming back.
Good, don't. Remind me again why you're nearly 40 years old and you're having a meltdown that a 10-year-old would have after getting a Nintendo Switch taken away?
I don't care.
Then why say anything? Oh god, the face you get when someone grabs you from a park. Yeah, put that on a fucking billboard and see really quickly how many people will stop being Christian when they realize this is the face of one of their brothers in arms. Just for the sake of argument.
And do I want to come back to YouTube? No, I don't.
Then just don't. You don't need to over-explain it. We gotta love how Sonic the Hedgehog is right behind him to grab his soldiers and pat him on the back and say that it's okay that he's a fuck-up. You're really not helping people with ASD when you literally walk around with half of the fucking stereotypes bundled into one person. God, you're such a fucking asshole. By the way, thanks for ruining the Sonic the Hedgehog for me now.
YouTube censors freedom of speech.
Well, it doesn't censor freedom of speech. It just means that you have to follow the fucking rules. Now, obviously, I don't think you should get in trouble for shit that you just say off the cuff to someone, but that doesn't mean you should be screaming slurs at people or actively trying to get people's rights taken away just because they're gay or trans. That's kind of fucked up.
So anyways...
Yeah, I love how his brain buffers for like 30 seconds at a time just to squeeze out a fucking sentence like he's verbally constipated.
YouTube can kiss my ass, because YouTube doesn't like it when you talk about negatively about the LGBTQ plus community.
Well, the reason that people don't like it when you talk negatively about them in regards to what you say is because a lot of what you say is just blatantly misinformation. When you start saying that only gay people, for example, get HIV, that's not true. In fact, it's actually possible for anyone to get it, because anyone that engages in any sort of activity with a person who might have it could quite possibly contract it. And you can get it from anything. You can get it from saliva, you can get it from sharing a meal with somebody. Because if you guys are eating from the same plate and saliva gets on something that is on that plate that someone that HIV is eating from, that means you could get it from someone. Even a woman. Yeah, like Magic Johnson, for example, got AIDS, and Magic Johnson got AIDS because he was just constantly having unprotected sex with a bunch of different women. So don't say that it's only a gay thing, because Magic Johnson's a straight dude, and he has had AIDS for years.
Yeah.
Ironically, Magic Johnson is what got him AIDS in the first place. His own name has become a play on words in regards for how reckless it was that he got himself AIDS.
They don't like it when you talk negative about George Floyd.
Well, it's not that you talk negatively about it, it's just the fact that you actively miss a good hunk of information, because even though he was a criminal, that doesn't mean you should suffocate someone to death. There's a difference. You should have just taken him to fucking jail.
They don't like it when you tell the truth about the COVID-19 vaccine.
Well, you don't really tell the truth about the vaccine. You basically just parroted back misinformation you heard about it. Now, I didn't get it because it wasn't properly tested, and a lot of people were dying in the first couple of rounds of it because of the fact that it was not given proper human testing. But that doesn't mean that it was all designed to kill off everyone. It was just a reckless fucking company pushing a vaccine in too fast. It was just negligent research practices like every major pharmaceutical company does. It's just that a lot of those happened much earlier before you could prove causation.
You can't say anything about AIDS and HIV because you'll get AIDS.
Well, you can't say anything about it because it's not fucking true.
AIDS and HIV misinformation.
Well, it is. It is misinformation when you actively say that a person's sexual orientation automatically means that they're going to be more likely to get it. That's false. If a man starts fucking a bunch of different women, not like you'd know anything about any of that, but if someone's not having protected sex with multiple partners whose sexual history that they are not aware of, they have not had prior screenings, you can get VD, not like up to and not limited to HIV or AIDS. So yeah, it is false information because AIDS is not a orientation-based virus, but a sexual health-based virus, because if you're being careless, you might get it. I mean, a lot of people were getting AIDS through blood transfusions and through shared needles because they didn't have a way to screen for it back in the 90s.
And other stupid shit.
No, the stupid shit is the person sitting in the chair that's in my camera right now.
So anyways, I like to thank those of you loyal subscribers of mine for supporting my YouTube channel.
All 5 of you. There's more clicking going on in his computer than there is in my fucking vertebrae.
And,
Go on, take 45 seconds to think of another fucking sentence. You know, it's kind of bad that I can do this shit off the top of my head and you can't even do it with 45 seconds worth of buffering time like a fucked up computer is just on its way to crash. Seriously, you're getting like that loading pinwheel meme, except you're a living embodiment of it that happens in real time. You're killing me, Smalls. Ooh da chawa licky licky ooh cha la ba loo ba lo. Fucking Jabba the Hutt. It's dust in the hut. Dustin the Nun.
I'd like to thank those of you for supporting my YouTube channel and
watching me make a total asshole of myself and doing nothing at all to try to talk to me about whether or not my views are just retarded.
And thank you for listening to my Q&As on here, whether they were live or non-live. And
well, the fact is, though, your Q&As didn't really do anything, because whenever someone asks you a direct question, you never actually answer them. I mean, I've offered you debates and discussions before, and you basically just started screaming at me like I came at you with a chainsaw and a rabbit suit while I was on fire.
You just can't have freedom of speech on this site anymore. It's stupid.
No, it's just that you're an ignorant ass that doesn't know what he's talking about, and you're just saying blatantly stupid shit that's not true. That's why people don't like it, is because it's just blatantly untrue.
YouTube is controlled by the left-wing nut jobs.
Now, is it true that YouTube's, guidelines are sometimes overzealous? Most certainly so, but I don't think it's hardcore left-wingers stopping you from being an ignorant jackass. I think that people just recognize that what you're saying is dumb shit. My brain cells starting to rot because of how little you've said that makes sense.
Damien Skyfire, Zach the Celtics guy, Stephen Trowbridge, and the rest of my haters, I will not, I repeat, I will not miss you.
Okay. I'll get my whiskey to celebrate your departure from this fucking platform. I forgot that actually went down really smooth. Celebratory drink for St. Patrick's Day. Happy fucking St. Patrick's Day. I would drink Guinness, but I didn't get any.
I will never miss my haters.
It's not hate, you're just a genuinely ignorant dumbass that doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. And when people tell you as such, you want to throw a fucking tantrum about it like you're 6. Here's the thing, it's not hate. Hate is based upon mindless animosity towards a person for no justified reason. People dislike you because you're just an ignorant ass that goes out of his way to say that his opinions are the only ones that are ever allowed to be right. And your opinions aren't even your opinions. They're the opinions of other people who've been spoon-fed to you since you could read. You don't even have your own fucking opinions because every single thought and idea you've ever had has been given to you by someone else that doesn't even know what they're fucking talking about. So don't even try to act like it's just mindless animosity. You're just selectively ignorant because you grew up in a house full of fucking troglodytes who seemingly still think that fire is witchcraft.
Fuck my haters, fuck YouTube, and fuck the guidelines on this fucking website.
I do think some of the guidelines can go fuck themselves, but that's because they're overzealously enforced by a system that doesn't actually check them, but that's not the same thing as what happened to you. Go on, take another 30 seconds to think of another fucking sentence. Go on.
YouTube, you will never see me again.
Okay.
And you can kiss my ass.
Don't let the door hit you in the ass on the way out. By the way, you're going to be walking or rolling, depending upon how big you've gotten the last few years. He's going to end up being like one of those guys on My 600-Pound Life where he has to get fucking airlifted out of his house by a flatbed truck. Yeah, you gotta love those fucking moments of silence. You gotta love them. Oh, there's my comment. Bye, Felicia. But yeah, no one's gonna miss you. And the reason no one's gonna miss you is because your opinions are fucking retarded and ignorant, and no one has to agree with any of the dumb shit you say.